Om Bhadram Karnevi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Makshabhirjajatraha Sthirairangais Tushtuvagang Sastanubhir Vyashema Devahitayadayuhu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. O gods, may we hear with our ears what is auspicious. O ye adorable ones, may we see with our eyes what is auspicious. May we sing praises to ye and enjoy with strong limbs and body the life allotted to us by the gods. Om, peace, peace, peace. So today we are going to start the discussion of the part 3, the third part of the lecture series, A Midnight in the Palace, the Sleepless King and the Knock of Wisdom. And who have attended our previous discussions, you know that this part has been taken from the Mahabharata. And there is a parva, a chapter called Udyaga Parva or Sena Udyaga Parva, arrangement of the army. So, in the beginning of the chapter, we have seen that there was an assembly in the court, in the palace of the king Virata. There was a marriage ceremony held between the daughter of Virata and the son of Arjuna, Abhimanyu. And after that, that program, they sat together, all those kings, relatives, they came and who came to attend that function, and they sat together, thought over, planning over the future of the sons of Pandu, the Pandavas that we call, Yudhishthir, etc., the 5 brothers, the son of Pandu. He had 2 queens, Kunti and Madri. So from Kunti he had 3 sons, Yudhishthira, Bhima and Arjuna, and from Madri he had 2 sons, Nakula and Sahadeva. Pandu died untimely, and Madri also. He followed his her husband, so in present scenario, we have seen that from the outcome of that conversation, from the meeting, they decided, let us send an envoy, a messenger, to the court of King Dhritarashtra, the ruler of the Hastinapur. The name of the capital of the kingdom was Hastinapur. He had that 100 sons, Kauravas. And they were cruel in nature, unrighteous, but they were great warriors, mighty warriors. So Mahabharata teaches us many things. It is said that there is nothing in the Bharata, in the nation, in the whole race, civilization in India, that you cannot find in Mahabharata. A great book. And you can understand its greatness because the Bhagavad Gita just is a part of that, a tiny part of the Mahabharata. So we can understand the greatness of the Mahabharata. And it's very good to discuss Mahabharata with commoners like us. It talks about dharma, our duty. We have discussed all those things in previous parts. There are 4 purposes of human life, it is said, we should pursue for. One, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So generally, we have misconception about dharma and moksha. Generally, Bhagavata, these books like Mahabharata, Bhagavata, Upanishada, they talk about mainly moksha, or maybe moksha dharma we can say. But Mahabharata speaks mostly about dharma. Of course, there are many discussions about moksha, but mostly I am saying, because we'll talk about kings. Kings means like the busy, who are terribly busy at their work, handling the administration. And they are not also, as a human being, they had many limitations. Sometimes they became weak also. But how they overcome their weakness, how they overcome their limitedness, there's a great lesson for us. And through these stories, many part of the story can be applicable only in Indian subcontinent. But that is our effort to bring out the universal message from all those stories. So, and even for us, those stories were written, or maybe the stage of those stories was built more than maybe 2,000 or 1,000 years ago. We do not know. So our modern times we do not understand, because we do not understand 17th century or 16th century even. What about thousands of years ago? So we have to keep in our mind many things we may not agree with. But we will be agreed if you read those literature of that time, the sociology, the constitutions. We call constitution Smriti. Smriti is where the constitution of those eras. So we have to read those history very carefully. And from the history, we have to understand that history, truth, literature, there are different kind of things. History means what is written. So I am alive, it may not be written. The name of my great-great-grandfather may not be written. It does not mean I do not have my great-great-grandfather. He built a house in the countryside. There is no trace of that house. It does not mean he never built that house. So history also had some limitations. History speaks about, think about newspaper. About 100 years ago, if somebody open up the archives of the modern newspaper, so what is written? Nothing is written about you and me. Nothing is written. It is written only the presidents and vice presidents or the politicians, or maybe the drug dealers. So apart from drug dealers, everything is wrong. Nothing happened. So we have to read all those things with open mind. History has limitation, literature has also limitations, and these books also has some limitations. But it teaches us that to understand the limitation. Sri Ramakrishna mentioned once about our superstition of modern age. It was very interesting. So he wrote that one building was collapsed. So it was not written in the newspaper. So for the modern generation, they do not believe in that, because it is not written in the newspaper. I saw in our neighborhood. So let us start today. So we have, in our previous discussion, we have seen that how the camp of Pandavas, the leaders of the Pandava camp, like King Drupada, Virata, they are elderly persons, senior, like father figure of those of that team. So they decided, let us send a messenger. Who would be the messenger? The priest of the king Drupada. And why he chose? We have discussed again. He is a man of righteousness, a knowledgeable person. So why I said righteousness and knowledgeable person? Only intellect, only information may not work, cannot work, does not work. It must be guided and must be fueled by the character. So they recognize that your words will carry the power born of your character. So mere knowledge is nothing. So you have to, so they choose that priest, and they guided also. It was not, again, we are not talking about moksha. We are not talking about that, that freedom for this chain of birth and death. We are talking about dharma. That day, I was listening to a lecture given by Swami Adish, let me think, who was that? Prabhuddhanandaji, probably. Prabhuddhanandaji. Then suddenly, something, I got some kind of a glimpse of a different kind of idea. We say dharma. What is the dharma? They say from Sanskrit, dhri, dhatu, the root, dhri, it comes dharma, dharana. Dharana, dhri, dharana, dharma. That is the thing. What is dharana means? Dharan. Dharan means to hold. That holds us. So the Swami was saying, just casually he was saying, so he told only dharma means that does not, in his words, that allow us not to fall apart. So I thought, okay, that is another way to think. So to hold means that give us the capacity not to fall apart. So without dharma, it says, we will fall apart. There is a chance of falling apart. If a monk follows all of his duties, dharma, his personality there will be integrity in his personality. A doctor, if he follows all those his dharmas, it will in your personality there will be integrity. A politician, if he follows or she follows his dharma, it will give the integrity in her character or his character. So integrity is important. From the integrity comes confidence, somewhere. You may not be skillful enough, but deep in your heart, you are integrated. Your being, whole being is not separated in different north, south, nothing. So that's the important aspect of dharma. They sent the priest. So generally, I will try to follow the text. Why I am saying? Because their words are very precise. And of course, I cannot read all the text, but some selected part, and trying to bind together. I will try my best. Why I am saying I am trying? From I found there are this first 1 to 19 chapters. It talks about just the mission of the priest from the marriage ceremony to the sending the priest. 1 to 19. There are 19 chapters. You have to summarize that one. 19 chapters. So we have tried in first and second part of that. So then the name of this is sub-chapters, sub-headings of the book. This is called Sanjaya Yana Parva. It goes through chapter 20 to 32. So before we enter Vidura aspect, we have to deal now 20 to 32. second chapter. So we are just about to start this part, Sanjaya Yana Parva. Sanjaya is the, we'll understand very quickly. So now priest went to the court of Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra heard what the priest had to say. Then he sent a messenger. His name was Sanjaya. So before that, let us finish this part. So they mentioned, before sending the priest, they reminded him of his duty. Be truthful. Because your character is important. You need not to be worried about your words, because your character will give the power, the strength behind the word. So when the royal priest of King Drupada arrived at the court of the Kauravas, he was received with due honor and courtesy by Dhritarashtra, Bhishma, and Vidura. After the proper welcome had been offered, the venerable priest first spoke words of goodwill, inquiring about the welfare and prosperity of all present. Then, standing amidst the assembled commanders and elders of the court, he addressed them in these words. So, let me go back. They told that, remind the compassionate among them, Drupada told. Drupada told the priest that there are many good people you'll find, like Vidura, Kripa, they are a nice person. All are not bad. So you just convey the sufferings of the Pandavas. Just remind them about their duty as a king, the Raja Dharma, remind them. And also remind them about us. Like Arjuna, as a warrior, their strength, their capacity. So remind them. So now the priest started. Revered ones, all of you are well acquainted with the eternal principles of Raja Dharma, the sacred duties that great kings and rulers. Raja means kings. Raja Dharma means the sacred duties that guide kings and rulers. Yet, though you already know them well, I shall speak of them once more, for the sake of proper deliberation and reflection. It will prepare the ground to hear me. Maybe you are absent-minded with some kind of last night dream. So it will make you alert. So that's why I'm saying. It is well known that Dhritarashtra and Pandu were both sons of the same father. Therefore, the paternal inheritance that belonged to their lineage rightfully belongs to them in equal measure. Of this, there can be no doubt whatsoever. Those who are the sons of Dhritarashtra have obtained the position of their father. Why have not the sons of Pandu obtained the paternal kingdom? It is known to you how, in former days, the sons of Pandu did not get their ancestral wealth, which was wrested from them by the son of Dhritarashtra. Son means mainly Duryodhana was the elder brother of the Kauravas. So he is talking about them under the leadership of Duryodhana. Therefore, the sons of Dhritarashtra devised many deadly schemes to destroy the Pandavas. Time and again, they sought their lives through treacherous means. Yet the hour of the Pandavas' destiny had not arrived. Therefore, despite all their efforts, they could not send them to the abode of Yama, the king of death. Because they started from their boyhood. They were so treacherous, this Duryodhana and their team. They are only boy. They add poison. They throw in the food of Bhima. There are many incidents were there. The noble-hearted Pandavas, and after when they grew up, Yatugriha, they orchestrated. They made one house made of some what you call jatu, that so that it can quick catch fire. So they tried to kill them in that way. So there are many incidents. The noble-hearted Pandavas had expanded and strengthened the kingdom through the might of their own arms and the valor of their deeds, being the prince of the kingdom, before they went to the exile. But the sons of Dhritarashtra, narrow in heart and guided by envy, conspired with Shakuni, their maternal uncle, and by deceitful stratagems wrested that kingdom away from them. Even this act, undesirable as it was, accepted the fate, and they lived for 13 years in the great forest. In the court, 2 serious troubles were experienced by these heroes along with their wife, and in the forest, diverse troubles of great magnitude were met with by them during the period of exile. And even after those years of wandering, they were compelled to live in concealment at the city of Virata, hidden. We call Ajñātavāsa. First 12 years, go to the forest, but last 1 year would be something special. You have to live hidden. If somebody catch you from our side, you have to go again to the forest. So, silent, restrained, you have to live hidden, like a life yet unborn, confined within the darkness of the womb. Little bit of literature, poetry. They live there like the unborn baby in the mother's womb, darkness. And there are many difficulties, that I cannot explain even. That was his way to say. The anguish, the humiliation, the silent endurance of those days, none of these are unknown to you. You have heard of them, yet remember them well. You remember them well. Therefore, let no one say that the trials of the sons of Pandu are hidden from this august assembly. You know everything, still you are supporting Duryodhana. That he wanted to say. So now I am skipping some part of that. So you know all those things, Pandavas, but they are ready to forget everything. They now, after finishing those 13 years, they want their part of what is, what is lawful, what is just. They want the justice. They want their part from the kingdom. But I want to say you something more. Don't think they are like beggars. They are just asking, like a beggar, please give our part. I want to remind you something more. What was that? Because those heroes do not wish to quarrel with the Kauravas, but rather want to get what they deserve without destroying the people. After that, you should not accept the confidence that Duryodhana has in the matter of war, because the Pandavas are stronger. 7 Akshohinis have been collected for the son of Dharma, that is Yudhishthira. They all desirous of fighting with the sons of Kuru are waiting for his permission. There are others based among men who are each of them equal to 1,000 Akshohinis, a unit, some kind of unit. For instance, the son of Satyaki, Bhim, and the twin brothers of very great strength. Consider well the strength that stands with the sons of Pandu. So again, I am skipping some part. He mentioned about many names of the great warriors like Drishtadumna, Satyaki, and many, Chekitana. It went on. Now, Satyaki, Bhimsen, Nakul, and Sahadev, each of these heroes alone is equal to 1,000 mighty divisions of warriors. And the great armed Dhananjaya, Arjuna himself, is in no way inferior to all these 11 Akshohinis of your assembled hosts. You have 11 Akshohinis, 11 units of that army. We have 7. But think about everyone, each of the Pandus can be compared with one Akshahinis, 1,000 Akshahinis even. And beside him stands Vasudeva, Krishna of immeasurable splendor, whose wisdom guides every movement, whose counsel shapes every victory. When one reflects upon this vast strength of their army, upon the unrivaled mastery of Arjuna in battle, and upon the unfathomable intelligence of Vasudeva, tell me who indeed would willingly march forward into such a war. Therefore, I say to you, act now accordingly to righteousness and the ancient laws of kings. Restore what must be restored. Give what must be given. The time for justice has not yet passed, but do not delay, for the hour is swiftly slipping away. See the words. That was an interesting period of history. You can speak truth without any fear. So we'll see. And interesting, another thing we'll see. Now they send first the priest. Now they will send Sanjay from the Dhritarashtra side. He's more intelligent and professional in that work. Then we'll see Sanjay went there. Then Krishna will come. No, Vidura. Vidura will enter in the scene. Will try to understand, make Dhritarashtra understand. Then Krishna himself. Then when that Krishna's efforts will become unsuccessful, then only the war become inevitable. So they tried their best, one by one. So when the priest has finished, the venerable, respected Bhishma rose to speak. Again, I am skipping. Then they already, that Drupada wanted that the compassionate, the noble-hearted one among the Kuru assembly, your word will touch them. And they will try to make Dhritarashtra understand. So then we found Bhishma, he rose to speak. He welcomed the proposal with earnest approval. We should try for a sandhi, a shama. In Sanskrit they call shama. The sandhi to come for peace, for an agreement. But before the hope of peace could take firm root, Karna rose in pride, the friend of Duryodhana. With fiery confidence, he spoke boldly against the proposal. Trusting in his own strength and in the might of the Kaurava armies, he dismissed the call for compromise and proclaimed that the sons of Pandu could never stand against them in battle. It means he wanted to fight. These words stirred the court, but they did not pass unchallenged. The blind king Dhritarashtra, troubled by Karna's arrogance, rebuked him sharply. For the king knew in the depths of his anxious heart that reckless pride could lead his house to ruin. So Dhritarashtra, hoping still to soften the situation and create a favorable atmosphere for reconciliation, he resolved to send a messenger to the Pandavas. Thus Sanjaya, wise and faithful, was chosen as a royal envoy to carry the king's words, to observe the mood of the Pandavas. So it is not just sharing his thoughts, try to understand the scenario, what is going on in their mind. So he was not a mere envoy, something professional. What kind of word they are using, the situation. So he went there. Before, there was a little bit training to understand, before that Drupada did. Drupada did to with the priest before sending him to the court of the Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra, he said, "It is said, O Sanjaya, that the sons of Pandu have reached Upaplava. Going out, do you find out if this is true? Do due honors to the one who has created no enemies. It is fortunate that you are present here." So old kind of translation. So he said that do due honors to the one who has created no enemies. Means Yudhishthira. He wanted to mention Yudhishthira. They would call Yudhishthira as Ajata Shatru, whose enemy was not born yet. So you see, being the king of the opposite party, that made him sleepless actually. The anxiety was there. He knew, I am doing something wrong. They had their own right. They were just. But there was, that blind affection to his sons that was preventing him to act what is right. So he told, go them and we are lucky that you are here. You are not busy with other kind of project. Sanjay, you are here, we are lucky. To all do you, O Sanjaya, communicate our well-being, having resided in the forest and met with troubles, they who are inclined to do good to others without deceit and honest still entertain friendly feeling towards us. He noticed. Still, their hearts are friendly. They forget all about that wrong undertakings of my sons. Never did I, O Sanjaya, observe any falsehood in the sons of Pandu. Having gained all their wealth through sheer strength of their own, have they made over the same to me. Never did I observe any questionable act in them, though I was always on the lookout. Yet never did I find anything done by these sons of Pritha for which we could blame them. So, son of Pritha, son of Pandu, same. Pritha means Kunti, another name of Kunti. So, that is their way to express, without saying always Yudhishthira, sometimes son of Pandu, taking their father's name, connection, sometimes their mother's name. They always work for the sake of virtue and their own interests and never request others for their own well-being. So, I kept an watchful eye, but I never saw in them anything that is questionable. Now something deeper. Having by their patience and wisdom subjugated heat, cold, hunger, thirst, sleep, laziness, anger, pleasure, and folly, the sons of Pritha always strive for virtue and their own interests. I saw them, the dharvang, shitam, shut pipase, that is the Sanskrit. Tathaiva nidrang tandri krodha harsha pramadam. So I saw them in heat, in cold, in hunger, in thirst, in sleep, in laziness, in anger, in pleasure and folly. They always passed the test with their patience and wisdom. Like all our mortal beings, there were some situation that could arise in them, that anger, that envy, but they, with respectful manner, they passed those tests with what was their power, wealth, patience and wisdom. Two weapons they had. On suitable occasions, do they give away wealth to their friends, and friendship with them does not decrease through long residence together. The sons of Pritha honor others and promote their interest according to their deserts, their worthiness. They have no haters in the sight of Ajamira. Ajamira, their name of the forefather. You may remember, there is a city called Ajamir. So it was named after their forefathers. So they say that with time, what happened? Our friendship, our relationship, sometimes it fades with time. But with them, we saw something different. It always increased in tensions, in their good times, in bad times. Except the great weak-minded fool Duryodhana and the steel-meaner Karna, these two alone are increasing the anger of these broad-minded souls who do not desire for their own happiness. Only our side, this Duryodhana and Karna. They're creating problem always. And he is saying about his own son, Duryodhana, who is strong in the beginning only and who is accustomed to every sort of indulgence, thinks that he does well. The boy thinks too that he is capable of robbing the living son of Pandu of their share. The word he used, Utthana Birye or Utthana Biryaha. Utthana means in the beginning of the work, he shows a lot of interest, strength, but with time it decreases. So it is a nature of a bala, is a balaka, a little boy. A little boy, in the beginning of any work, shows a lot of enthusiasm. So he noticed the same characteristic in Duryodhana. So then he started about in Pandavas. He who is followed by Arjuna, Keshava, Brikodara, Satyaki, the two sons of Madri, and Srinjaya, it is best to give up his share before the war. I think so. It would be best thing to give their share. Then he started talking about that Arjuna, because he mentioned that, do you remember the strength of Arjuna? So he noticed another name of Arjuna was Sabyasachi. Sabyasachi, who can fight efficiently in the same way with two hands. Nothing left-handed and right-handed. Both hands were equally was fast while that putting the arrow and throw that. Sabyasachi, holding the Gandiva bow, is alone capable of subjugating the earth from his chariot, and in the same way is the noble-minded Keshava, that is Krishna, accustomed to God victories and unapproachable, the ruler of the three worlds. In all the worlds, he is the only man worthy of adoration. What man could stand against his flight of arrows, which roar like the clouds and which fly with the swiftness of locusts? Seated on one car with the help of the Gandiva bow, Sabyasachi, having subjugated the Kauravas of the north and the northern country as well, took away their wealth and turned the people of Dravida into the shoulder followers. They made that subjugated people, they included them in his army. That was his way of Arjuna. So he went on about talking about Arjuna, the strength of Arjuna. Now he was just, he was thinking, sharing his thoughts, his anxiety about the power of Pandava side. Now he was started talking about Bhima, the second son of Kunti. And think for a moment of Bhimasena, Bhimsen. That is another way to call Bhima. Bhima, the mighty son of the wind, trained in every weapon, terrible in strength, unconquerable in spirit, against that formidable warrior, the sons of Dhritarashtra have committed many acts of hostility and injustice. Do you imagine such deeds will be forgotten? Bhim remembered everything. No, when the hour arrives, Bhim, with the sheer power of his arms, will burn up these petty sons of Dhritarashtra as a raging fire consumes dry grass. For know this well, when Bhima arises in the battle, fierce with righteous wrath, even Indra himself would find it no easy task to subdue that storm of strength. So he was it is said that, again mythology is mixed there. It is said he was born with the blessing of the Pavana, the god of the wind, that wind god, the Pavana Deva, like Hanumana. So now, then Bhima, little bit, I'm saying, then Nakula and Sahadeva. And after Bhim comes the next wave of power, Nakul and Sahadeva, the twin sons of Madri, brilliant, swift, and radiant with youthful vigor, trained in the science of arms by none other than Arjuna himself. As elder brother, he also trained them, apart from their traditional guru, of weapon, Dronacharya. Their hands move with lightning speed, their arms, their aim unfailing. In battle, they will descend upon their enemies like two fierce hawks, plunging from the sky upon a flock of helpless birds, leaving not even a single foe standing in their wake. Yes, it is true, our armies are vast and formidable, our ranks are full, our banners many, and yet I cannot help but think that when these hosts stand face to face with the Pandavas, they will not remain long upon the field. Then he talked about Dhrishtadyumna, another warrior. Then again skipping something, what he said about Krishna. Remember what happened before at the great Rajasuya sacrifice. There was a sacrifice called Rajasuya, where all those kings were invited. And they requested those kings. It was not mere request. A little bit of little bit of arrogance was there, to accept the leadership of Yudhishthira, to admit that Yudhishthira is the mightiest king of India, of that land. So you have to accept his leadership. That was the plan. That is the aim of that sacrifice, Rajasuya Yajna. So all those kings, they came, and what happened? So they admitted Yudhishthira's greatness, but in that course of the sacrifice, one ritual was there. Yudhishthira, he offered the greatest seat for Krishna, and cleaned his feet with water, with respect. It was just worshipping Krishna. So this Shishupala, he didn't like Krishna. There was a different story. There's a different story. There's enmity with Krishna. He didn't like. So up to that point, Krishna was ignoring Shishupala. So little bit of story I have to say, I think. So, so they had a relationship between. Relationship means they are relatives. So Krishna gave word to his mother, the mother of Shishupala, who was a, some kind of aunt, I think, to Krishna, that I know Shishupala does not like me, and he did many things against me, but I'll forgive him. Up to 99th, that the wrongdoings. The 99th part, but 100, I think. I'll forgive the 100 that misdeed of Shishupala. But after that, I have to take some action. So in that the particular event, it happened. He crossed the limit, Shishupala. So Dhritarashtra was saying that, talking about that incident. So in the kings had gathered there from every direction, mighty rulers, proud warriors, vast armies at their command. Among them stood the powerful monarch of Chedi, the son of the royal house Shishupala. The name of the kingdom was Chedi. So he is the king of Chedi. So Shishupala, radiant in valor like the blazing sun itself, a master of the bow, fearless in battle, surrounded by countless heroes. He stood confident before the assembly of kings. But what happened then? In but a single moment, yes, in a single moment, Krishna, the Lord of unfathomable power, struck him down. With effortless might, he defeated him, shattering the pride and courage of the assembled Kshatriyas. Those very kings who had raised Shishupala to honor, those rulers of Karusha and many other lands, when they beheld Krishna standing upon his chariot like a lion among men, what did they do? Did they stand and fight? The supporters of Shishupala, the friends of Shishupala? No. Like timid deer fleeing before a lion, they abandoned the Lord of Chedi and fled the field in terror. And then, calmly, effortlessly, Krishna ended the life of Shishupal and raised the glory and honor of the Pandavas before the whole world. And now, that very Krishna stands on the side of the Pandavas. Tell me then, who among their enemies, thirsting for victory, would dare confront him in single combat? O Sanjaya, I have heard again and again of the astonishing power Krishna displays for the sake of the Pandavas. Whenever I recall his deeds, peace abandons my heart. For when Krishna himself leads them, who indeed can withstand their terrible splendor? And now I hear that Krishna has accepted the role of charioteer to Arjuna. That's a sweet part of that. That Krishna, he told, I'll be your charioteer, the driver of your car. And that thought, my heart trembles with fear. My son, alas, he is enslaved by his own stubborn folly. Important line. We think we are enslaved by something different person. No, we are enslaved by our own ideas. Sometimes you will see some kind of this glimpse of wisdom here and there. So, my son, alas, he is enslaved by his own stubborn folly. If even now he refrains from waging war against them, then perhaps some good may yet come of it. But if he does not, then surely, just as Indra and Vishnu once destroyed the armies of the demons, so will the Pandavas annihilate the entire Kuru race. If Arjuna, Vasudeva, and the righteous King Yudhishthira, angered by the wrongdoing of Duryodhana, do not strike down the sons of Dhritarashtra, then I shall truly regard them as living embodiments of compassion and righteousness itself. O Sanjaya, so listen carefully, because you're about to start. Carefully. Strange though it may seem, the blazing wrath of King Yudhishthira fills my heart with greater dread than the power of Krishna, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, or Sahadev. So, these chapters, we have a strange idea of Yudhishthira. So, these chapters, they discuss the glory and strength of Dharma. Everywhere you will see the power of Arjuna, Bhima, and all those other things. Yudhishthira here. Only the king of the enemy side could understand. And Dhritarashtra was in that sense wise. He recognized. And he is saying, why? For Yudhishthira is a man of profound austerity, a soul established in truth and self-control. When such a man becomes resolved, his will cannot fail. And when I consider that his anger now rests upon the firm foundation of justice, my fear only deepens. Therefore, Sanjaya, waste no time. Mount your chariot at once and go swiftly to the encampment of the Panchalas. Panchalas, the Draupadi's, the ancestral site. They are stood behind Pandavas. And for the history, I can say, Kauravas and Panchalas, always they had some tension in between them. If you read the whole Mahabharata, you can understand. Okay. When you arrive there, greet King Yudhishthira with words of warmth and respect. Ask again and again about his welfare and approach Krishna with reverence, inquiring about his well-being. Tell them this, King Dhritarashtra desires peace with the sons of Pandu. For Krishna loves the Pandavas even more than life itself. And even works for their good. Whatever he advises, Yudhishthira will surely follow. So he tried to make Sanjaya focused on two particular persons, Yudhishthira and Krishna. Then convey the king's greetings also to the other Pandavas, to the Srinjayas, to King Virata and to the sons of Draupadi, say to them that King Dhritarashtra asks about their welfare and hopes for their safety. And above all, O Sanjaya, speak wisely. Among the assembled kings, choose your words with care and with timing. Speak in such a way that the fire of war may not burst into flames, and that the welfare of the entire house of Bharata may yet be preserved. So that was the training part of Sanjaya. Sanjaya went to Upaplavya, where another name of the place. So the journey was long, but the purpose was grave, for he was traveling not merely as a messenger, but as the bearer of the words that might decide the fate of a dynasty. At last he arrived at the court of King Yudhishthira, the noble son of Kunti. Entering the assembly, Sanjaya first bowed deeply in reverence before the king, then standing with folded hands, the son of Gavalgana. Again, another name for Sanjaya. The son of probably his father, that I do not know, father or maybe somebody eminent, prominent in their family, maybe Gavalgana. So the son of Gavalgana spoke with calm dignity to the ruler who had never created an enemy. Again, Yudhishthira. He started saying, "Blessed indeed is this moment, O king, that I behold you in health and strength, surrounded by loyal friends, radiant in majesty, like the great Indra among the gods." See, words and timing. The aged and wise king Dhritarashtra, son of Ambika, sends you his greetings and inquires earnestly about your welfare. So he is not talking about Dhritarashtra. He told son of Ambika. Why? To remind them they have a common grandmother. Dhritarashtra's mother and Pandu's mother were same. So they reminding the root. Think about our root. We have to save our race. So he asks, is Bhimsen well? Bhimsen and Bhimsen. Is Bhimsena well? The foremost among the sons of Pandu, the terror of foes. He was the second brother. So first Yudhishthira, then Bhim. Then he's saying, is Dhananjaya Arjun? Dhananjaya was another name of Arjun. The unrivaled wielder of the Gandiva, safe and prosperous. Name of the bow of Arjuna was Gandiva. And how fair the noble sons of Madri, Nokul and Sahadev, those two heroic princes of radiant valor. He asks also about Krishna, Draupadi. So it is Krishna, again, it sounds a little strange. Krishna and Krishna. So Krishna means Krishna, Vasudeva, the avatar, and Krishna, we talk. This is Draupadi. Draupadi's name was Krishna. Draupadi, the noble daughter of King Drupada, that truthful and high-spirited princess, the wife of mighty heroes. He knew they humiliated Draupadi in the court of the. So they wanted to, make her calm. So, is she well, together with her sons? For she, O son of Bharata, is that noble lady for whose honor and happiness you strive so earnestly. She for whom you seek the fulfillment of your deepest and most righteous hopes. See the word. Now, Yudhishthira said, O Sanjay, welcome. Your arrival gladdens our hearts. Seeing you here after so long brings us deep joy. Tell me first of your welfare. As for us, by the grace of Providence, I am well together with my younger brothers. Indeed, O wise one, hearing from you of the health of the aged king of the Kurus, and beholding you before me, I feel as though I have seen the king himself. See the words. experienced. Seeing you, I feel as though I have seen the king himself. Tell me, how fares our grandsire Bhishma, that venerable hero, aged in years, yet youthful in wisdom, adorned with every virtue, does he remain as steadfast as in the days of old? And how is the great king Dhritarashtra, the son of Vichitra Virya, his name of his father? Is he well together with his sons? How fares the noble king Bahalika, son of Pratipa, and Somadatta, does he live in health and peace? Tell me also Bhurishrava of the truthful Satya Sandha, of the mighty Shalya. How are the great preceptor Drona and revered Kripa? Those illustrious Brahmins, together with their sons, are all these noble warriors free from illness and sorrow? Subtle one. Not only illness, are they free from sorrow? He wanted to know their feeling, about this Pandavas. They are following that Dhritarashtra, but in their heart, he wanted to know his heart. For I know well, O Sanjaya, that the foremost archers of the world have gathered on the site of the Kurus, men of great wisdom, masters of every science, unmatched in the art of the bow. They stand assembled there. Are they are such heroes honored as they deserve? Do they live in health and dignity in that kingdom where the noble son of Drona resides? He's talking like a king. Are they getting their due respect, the warriors? And he talked about that Yudhishthira, even Karna. And Karna, does he prosper? That man whose counsel the misguided Suyodhana follows with such blind trust. He is always misguiding Suyodhana. Yudhishthira, with love, he called Duryodhana as Suyodhana. Sometimes as a younger brother, you call with a different name, sweet name. You see, he still continued to call him in that name. Tell me also the aged mothers of Kuru house, the noble ladies of that royal lineage, their daughters-in-law, their sons and grandsons, are they all living in peace? Tell me this further, O Sanjaya. So it is about the royal family. Now, as a king, he should ask about the subject. So he didn't fail that. He said, does King Dhritarashtra still provide for the Brahmins as in former times? Are the annuities that I once established for those wise people still maintained by the sons of Dhritarashtra? Does the king still honor the Brahmins even when they err, when they do mistakes? Important. Knowing that charity toward them is a sacred path leading to heaven. For charity to the righteous is a sacred light placed in this world by the Creator for the welfare of all beings. If foolish men extinguish that light by neglect and arrogance, the ruin of the house of Kuru will surely follow. We'll see that Sanjaya also mentioned that point. Tell me also, does Dhritarashtra properly support his ministers and counselors, or do enemies lurk among them, disguised as friends, waiting for the moment to bring destruction? And tell me honestly, do the Kurus speak among themselves of crimes committed to the sons of Pandu? Do Drona and Kripa ever accuse us of wrongdoing? Do the Kurus acknowledge Dhritarashtra and his sons as their rightful rulers? And when danger threatens, when bands of robbers gather, do they remember the leader of battles, Arjuna? Because Arjuna was the person who would protect them in all those challenges. Do they remember the thunder of the Gandhava bow? The roar like the rumbling clouds, the swift arrows that fly straight and terrible from the hands of that peerless archer? For in all the world I have never seen a warrior equal to Arjuna, let alone one greater than he. With a single motion of his hands, he can release 61 keen-edged arrows, feathered and deadly, striking their mark with unfailing precision. So I will continue in your next part. So time is up. So then he will talk about Bhima, Nakula, and Sahadeva also. Namastute Vyasa Vishal Buddhe Fullara Vinda Yatapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purna Prajjalita Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Salutation to thee, O Vyasa, the mighty intellect, and with eyes large like the petals of a full-blown lotus, by whom was lighted the lamp of wisdom, full of Mahabharata oil. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.